Namaste, Satnam. Welcome to IamWoke. I am your host, Emelina. Today we're going to dive into a Pleiadian channeled message for January's first full moon. Welcome to the full moon of awakening. So many more of you are getting more awakening upgrades and codes, many more than you have ever known before. This is an exciting period, especially since so many more humans are awakening at this time. You're gonna find brothers, sisters, loved ones, friends that you thought had absolutely no idea about spirituality, about starseeds, about awakening, about consciousness, are going to start getting on board. This full moon is a really pivotal time for humanity. It's very important in the queuing up, in the setting up of this year, because many of you will be stepping into your alignment as light workers, as leaders. Those of you who have taken the last year, 2 years, 5 years, some 10, will be stepping into leadership roles now at this point, which is ironic because many of you don't feel like you've really gotten to the point of leadership, but this is your time, for there is another wave of awakening that is about to come towards you. And these newly awakened souls will need people to guide them, people even just 1, 2, 10, 12 steps ahead of them. And so many of you are in positions of leadership that this is going to be such a ripe opportunity for you to learn how to develop your craft, for you to see how worthwhile your experiences have been, how worthwhile it's been to move through and heal your past, heal the experiences that you have gone through, heal your traumas, and to step into yourself, out of the shadows and into the light. For you're going to see how prevalent you are needed, how precise your expertise will be for those people around you. You'll wonder to yourselves, oh, interesting, so strange that the skills that these people need happen to be the exact puzzle piece to what I offer, the things that I have moved through myself personally. Those of you who are accustomed to more traditional channeling source will feel like you're not even channeling. You'll feel like you're just speaking from experience. And that's the beauty of this transition, dear ones. The beauty of all of the work that you've done is each one of you is a beacon of hope, a beacon of light, a leader with a specific set of traits that were specifically cultivated and planned ahead of time with your soul and within the collective of humanity, where you were set to dive into and lead around a specific set of frequencies of human activation, a specific set of circumstances and criteria that only you would know based on your own experience. And now is the time, dear ones, for you will be magnetically attracting those people that are missing those elements of DNA activation and that need it for their own ascension material, that need it for their own even shortened small level of awakening, although no awakening is small. We need to say that even on a minute scale, that your experience has created an uplifting wave, and each one of you is now stepping into your light frequencies, into the leadership roles within those frequencies, to teach and to be of service to this next wave of awakened humans. At this point, many of you are beginning to become ready for the leadership. You've all been through your own challenges over the last year that have been there on purpose to prepare you for these roles to step into spotlight, into service. This shouldn't be a grand awakening for many of you, but it should act as a confirmation. For those of you that are watching this channel, you know that you are ripe and ready to begin moving forward. You're ready to begin teaching. And those of you that think you're not ready to begin teaching, we suggest you look within yourself and find what experience you think would be of value to begin speaking about to others. Even on a small level, it can be speaking to your colleagues, speaking to your loved ones, holding space for your children, holding space for your family to awaken, to step into the light, to realize that they are part of source consciousness, to realize that they are more than just a flesh form in a human body. We'd like to call this time period the Great Awakening, for there is going to be a large transcendent wave of people that are awakening across the planet to the point where many of you will be surprised. You'll be surprised that things start to turn around. We're not saying all of humanity is all of a sudden going to fix all of its stuff. What we are saying is that people will begin to be a little more approachable to new ideas, to new age esoteric ideas. more so than you think. Somebody that looks like an average person will actually have a certain amount of awakening, and you'll be surprised. Many of you will be surprised, for you've been in hiding for so long, dear ones. And it's not the time of hiding anymore. The light workers are here to lead the planet. You have gone through all of your tumultuous, challenging circumstances so that you could build this internal strength that was absolutely necessary for you to step into leadership from a place of integrity. That leadership time is now. There's no holding back. There's no stepping back. There is forward movement in it. It's a loving partnership with Source where you have agreed to share your experience, to help uplift other people, help awaken other people, help hold the space for the awakening of other people, the space of allowing conversation around new ideas, the space of explaining and showing your example of how you've done things in your life, how you have awakened yourself, how you have moved through your own circumstances and adversity. Sharing yourself out into the world as a light worker is enough. The act of you stepping out and sharing yourself and sharing your experience is an act of leadership. It doesn't have to be grand. You just have to be comfortable being yourself and being yourself around others who can see you as being yourself, who you once thought were not so awake. There are so many of you light workers around the planet that are just igniting. It's just like one flame after another flame after another light after another light. And there's a point now where there are so many of you that you're causing a ripple effect and a wave throughout all consciousness that is now waking up the next wave of human consciousness. This is a beautiful upgrade. You should all be congratulating yourselves right now. This is incredible. Now, it may not look as incredible up front and at first, because as you know from your own journey and awakening, as people begin to wake up, things happen for them. Not everything is so easy. They have to leave partnerships and leave relationships. They have difficulty with family. A lot of them run into crisis. And that will cause a certain level of panic in the first level of awakening. It is why it is so important that so many of you step out, dear ones, for you have the level of strength that will be necessary to hold the nervous system of the planet together as millions and millions of people are awakening and stepping into their own dark nights of the soul, their own crises, their own relationship upheavals. If you were to look at the news, it's going to start looking tumultuous. Not that it hasn't before, but many people will be in crisis. Many people will need help and assistance. And it is your job, dear ones, not to save them, but to step into yourself and be the example of trust and faith and self-belief. The example of what it is to be yourself no matter the circumstances. The example of what it is to move past and heal past adversity and to claim who you are in your core, to know who you are and to be and to radiate yourself. Regardless of what other people think, regardless of what other conditioning or programming you may have experienced in this lifetime. In this full moon, it is a wonderful idea to begin to take stock in the things that you have mastered, in the areas that you could teach and become an example around for others. It will also be important to take stock around how you feel about leadership, how you feel about being seen, and to work out any inner conflict around being seen for who you are, not just by a small crowd or small community of other light workers, of other star seeds that vibe with you, but actually beginning to be accepted by more of a larger scale of mass consciousness. That will freak some of you out because you're so accustomed to being in such a small group, tight-knit, being kind of like the loner of a large group of friends or what have you, because you're the starseed, because you're the light worker, because you're the psychic, because you're the spiritualist. But the spiritualist is about to be mainstream. Consciousness is becoming mainstream. And we know that will make many of you uncomfortable because you feel like an individualistic nature of the level of isolation you've all had to be in for so long. But that level of isolation is no longer in service to the planet. You are all going to be stepping up and out. You are all going to be stepping into some level or role of leadership, whether it is in a micro community or a family or a larger community, or to even millions and millions of people. We are sending extraordinary light codes to the planet at this time for this upgrade to help support all of you starseeds and to help support the awakening of the new batch of humans that will be coming into their own consciousness, starting to wake up and realize that this Earth School thing is not quite what they bought into. And they'll pick pick their heads up and they'll wonder what's going on with them. And you wonderful humans, you wonderful starseeds and light workers will be there ready to catch them, train them, and help them see who they are in their own soul expression. This full moon is the full moon of leadership. It is the full moon of awakening. With awakening comes a lot of movement. There will be a lot of movement during this full moon. Don't mistake the movement for anxiety, because it will come across that way throughout the collective. It will come across as a lot of power, and that power can be mistaken for crisis. It can be mistaken or misled for something urgent or insecure. It is none of these things. It is just power. It's just a lot of awakening all at one time, a lot of attention all at one time, and the collective will have a lot of movement around it. So just acknowledge this when you feel the movement. Acknowledge that it's good movement, that it's excitement, that it's power, that it's electric, that it's something that you can use and even harness for yourself, for your own energy. You can think of yourself as a generator. You can take some of that energy and store it for later. You can use it to propel your creative projects forward. You can use it to just be a beacon of joy on the grid, to just channel the extra energy that's available and just express yourself. That would be a wonderful use of it as well. There are so many more exciting changes, and we'd also say challenges, coming through for the year 2022 that we are excited to educate many of you on and bring awareness to. The changes will be challenging, but simultaneously exciting. The largest challenges around these changes moving forward for the year are going to be the challenge of you letting go of what you previously thought yourself to be, and the challenge of stepping into a new role, a new persona that is of higher service to the highest good of what is going on at the planet at this time. Dear ones, with this we feel our message is complete. We hope you have an absolutely blessed full moon. Ashe. As always, if you love this video, please go give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you thought about this, if you think you're a light worker or if you're ready to step into leadership. Remember to subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you don't miss any energy updates. I am booking Akashic Records readings. I'm offering a new year reading for prosperity, love, and success in 2022. If you're interested in booking a reading, just scroll to the description section below and I'll leave some information there. I'm also offering spiritual high performance coaching that I'm super duper excited about. If you're interested in that, that will be in the description below as well. And last but not least, I'm going to be launching an Akashic Records group program where I'm going to teach you guys how to read your own Akashic Records, how to absolutely transform your life, how to heal any trauma you've experienced, how to do soul retrievals and past life regressions, how to tap into your psychic gifts and psychic development and potential. I'm going to be launching this shortly. It's a live program. If you want to know when I launch, make sure you sign up for the waitlist. All of the links to work with me are going to be found in the description below. I look forward to seeing all of your comments. Any of you that want to work with me, I'm excited to chat more, and I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know if I've shown off my new bonsai. Who doesn't love this? Look at this little juniper. Junie the juniper. Do you know that if you talk to your trees, they grow better? They tell me when they grow, they get very excited. They like shout my name from across the room. They're like, Emelina, look at me, I'm growing. For those of you that don't talk to trees, I suggest you start. They are pretty amazing.